I started to make some inquiries, and I discovered to my amazement that more than 6.5 years ago, a huge amount of research, task forces, working groups, meetings of the council, meetings of the Washington Avenue Residents Association and some down here, the State Highway Administration, and then nothing. And I thought, oh no, 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 this is not going to stand. This is not acceptable. The research and analysis was excellent. Dr. David Bowring, who's got a math and physics background, who lives in Washington Avenue, really herded the cats, involved the council, involved the State Highway Administration, residents, studies were done, etc. And I've read them all. I've read the minutes, I've read the task force report. All the solutions were there. There were recommendations, maybe half a dozen, that would really have made a difference. And it was handed off to the council, and a letter was sent on January 2016 to the State Highway Administration, which seemed to be very open to doing things, by the way, and then nothing. So what was the follow-up? Well, apparently it's hard to find out what the follow-up is, but I'm still pressing. So why would you do all this work and then not allow any remedies to happen? I just was astonished. So now there have to be remedies, there have to be action, no more talk. There were recommended solutions, and SHA was open to some of them, if not all of them. So let's take the bridge first. I'm not talking about replacing the bridge. That's a much bigger idea way down the road, but it's something to look at. The volume of traffic, heavy truck traffic coming across the bridge in either direction is growing all the time. It is not Dixon Valve, it's not Lamott. The bulk of the traffic, the heavy traffic of 4-axle, 6-axle trucks coming through, very heavy trucks, is going straight through the town. It's not to our businesses. Perhaps there's a delivery to the dollar store or whatever, but it's not to Acme or Redner's. That's at the other end. So why are these trucks thundering through town at high speeds, and the cars? It's because they avoid the 301 bypass, because there's a weigh station on 301, and if your truck is heavy, you have to pay more money. If you're avoiding paying tolls at the other end, well, by coming through Chestertown, well, you'll do it, I suppose, if you're not very ethical. And so that was one thing. We can restrict that. There are state regulations which say in small towns, no through traffic for heavy trucks. There are weight restrictions you can put on the signs at a bridge, and the police and the sheriffs the state troopers can enforce it. Then you see the speed. So it's supposed to be 25 miles an hour. They're not doing 25 miles an hour. They're doing 40 and 50 miles an hour, including the trucks rushing through the gateway into town. And it's very dangerous. There are children coming from Garnett School or the middle school trying to cross the road. And it's very dangerous. So add a crossing on request. So you press the button and it stops the traffic, like up at Washington College. This is not rocket science. Speed cameras. Maybe you don't go directly to speed cameras. Some people don't like speed cameras, you know. But if, like on the Bay Bridge, you have these huge signs saying you're doing 59 miles an hour when it should be 50, start out with that. If that doesn't have an effect, then put in a speed camera. So these are all very sensible, not that expensive solutions. And this is a beautiful historic town. This should not be like, you know, the Le Mans Speedway from the bridge all the way up to Morgneck Road. I believe, unfortunately, there's a democratic deficit of confidence in the elected representatives we have, fair or unfair. If you talk to residents, they'll say, nobody does anything, nobody does anything. Well, if they won't do anything, they need to be persuaded to do it, the council or the administration at Town Hall. So in any meetings now, with the State Highway Administration, 2 representatives, maybe 2 alternatives from the Washington Avenue Residents Association, the Maple Avenue one, go with the councillors, go with the mayor to the State Highway Administration, so that we're monitoring them and they have our support. So if we have opposition from the State Highway Administration, then we take this further. We talk to Delegate Jacob, who has been very helpful in getting the repaving done, or Senator Hershey in Annapolis. We go to the Transportation Committee of the Assembly in Annapolis. This is the way it has to be done. There has to be follow-ups. We're not expecting it to be done next weekend. If it takes weeks, fine. But the meetings have to have a product, a conclusion, a remedy, not another meeting. No.